You have big dreams of losing weight and creating a healthy, joyful life. But you find yourself craving sugar, caught up in what the scale says, and diet hopping. Dieting is the old way of losing weight. And the good news is I'm going to give you a new way of eating so you can ditch diets for good and build a healthy relationship with real food. My name is Megan Olson, certified nutrition practitioner, creator of Skinny Fitalicious, and your host of the Dish on Diets show. I want to talk to you today about what I believe is the single most important thing in your weight loss journey. It's the thing I've watched so many women miss, and once you see it, I don't think you'll be able to unsee it. In fact, I hope this changes the way you think about weight loss forever, because if you want to lose weight and keep it off, you don't need one plan, you need two. And I think this is the piece that almost everyone is missing. Most women decide they want to lose weight, and immediately what do? They start looking for a weight loss plan. They pick a diet, they count calories, they try keto, they do fasting, they exercise more, they choose some strategy that's designed to help them lose weight. On the surface, that makes perfect sense, but here's what happens. They lose 20 pounds, maybe 40 pounds, sometimes even more. And then a year or two later, the weight comes back. And that's why I always say most women don't struggle to lose weight. They struggle to keep it off. I talk about this in my free weight loss class. If you haven't taken it yet, I'll link it in the show notes because I go into that in more detail there. But over the last 11 years of coaching women, and after losing 80 pounds myself and maintaining that weight loss for the last 17 years, almost 18 years now, I've realized something. It usually isn't that the weight loss plan failed. The plan worked. The woman lost weight. The problem is she only had half the plan. She had a plan for losing weight, but she never had a plan for maintaining it. When you choose a diet or a weight loss program, that plan has one job: to create a calorie deficit so your body loses fat. All diets, all they do is create calorie deficits. That's it. It's a tool for weight loss. But every weight loss plan has one detail that almost no one talks about. It ends. At some point, you've reached your goal weight. You're done losing weight. You're no longer supposed to be in a calorie deficit. You're no longer trying to lose body fat. The weight loss plan was always meant to be temporary. You're not meant to track calories forever. You're not meant to be in a calorie deficit forever. You're not meant to diet forever. Those are temporary tools to accomplish a goal. And that's why when people say you have to make it a lifestyle, they aren't talking about making dieting your lifestyle. They aren't saying calorie counting should become your lifestyle. They aren't saying keto, fasting, or Optavia should become your lifestyle forever. They're talking about something completely different. They're talking about building a lifestyle that allows you to maintain your weight after the diet is over. Those are two completely different plans. One plan helps you lose the weight. The other helps you live the rest of your life without ever having to think about losing the same weight over and over and over and over and over again. Here's the question I think almost nobody asks themselves before they try to start losing weight. What happens after my diet ends? Think about it. You lose 20 pounds, maybe 30, maybe 50. You reach your goal weight. Celebrate. So naturally, you stop doing the things you were doing to lose weight. You stop tracking calories. You ease up on the diet. You start eating more normally again. Maybe you come off a GLP-1 because you reached your goal. And then over the next year or two, sometimes sooner, sometimes later, that weight starts to come back. When that happens, so many women start asking themselves, what's wrong with me? I lost the weight. Why couldn't I keep it off? They tell themselves this self-loathing story that they weren't disciplined enough and that somehow they failed. But from what I have seen coaching women over the last 11 years, that's not usually what happened. The weight loss plan worked. They lost the weight. The problem is they never built a second plan. They never built a lifestyle plan. Think about the lifestyle you had before you started dieting, your daily habits, your environment, your routines, how you handled stress, how you coped with difficult emotions, what you believed about food, how often you moved your body, how you spent your evenings, the people around you. All of those things together make up your lifestyle. And that lifestyle is what led to the weight gain in the first place. So when the weight loss plan ended, what happened? Most people slowly drift back into that same lifestyle. Not overnight. Usually it's gradual. Maybe they still kind of sort of track calories some days. Maybe they kind of sort of still watch, what types of carbs they're eating and how much. Maybe they keep a few habits from the diet, but little by little, they return to the same patterns, routines, and beliefs they had before. And of course, the weight comes back. Not because the diet failed, not because they failed, because they returned to the same lifestyle that produced the weight in the first place. And this is why I think so many weight loss resolutions don't last. People try to escape their current lifestyle with a temporary weight loss plan. For a few months, they're eating differently, thinking differently, acting differently because they're following a very, very structured plan. But once that temporary plan ends, they gradually slide back into the same life that they were living before. That's why I say you need two plans. A weight loss plan to help you lose weight, and a lifestyle plan that changes the life you return to when the weight loss plan is over. So what you're missing is not another diet or dose of willpower. It's a lifestyle plan. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, you need two plans, and they need to be running at the same time. The first is your weight loss. Its job is simple: to create a calorie deficit so your body loses fat. It's tactical, it's measurable, and it's temporary. It has an end date because eventually you're done losing weight, right? The second plan is your lifestyle plan. Its job is totally different. Its purpose is to change the way that you live so that when weight loss ends, you don't return to the life that caused a weight gain in the first place. Here's the way I think about it. You can't just create a calorie deficit. You have to create a life that no longer needs one. That's what the lifestyle plan is doing. It's helping you build habits, routines, beliefs, and ways of thinking that naturally supports a healthy body long after the calorie deficit and the dieting stuff is over. Unlike your weight loss plan, your lifestyle plan does not end. It's the way that you live your life for the rest of your life, because whether you like it or not, you're living a lifestyle right now. And the lifestyle you're living today is compatible with weight gain. It's producing the results you have today. If you want lasting weight loss, your lifestyle has to change, not just your diet. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, but I just want to lose weight. I don't want to overhaul my whole life. I understand. I get it. I felt that way too, but I'm not asking you to do anything I didn't have to do myself when I lost 80 pounds. And after coaching women for more than a decade, I've noticed something really interesting. The women who put all their energy into the weight loss plan often lose weight quickly. But they're also the women I see battling consistency issues. They do things really, really well for 3 weeks and then they're off plan and then beating themselves up. They're also the women I see coming back a year or two later because the weight returned. On the other hand, the women who built both plans at the same time, they may lose a little weight more slowly. They're building habits while they're losing weight. They're changing their routines while they're losing weight. They're changing the way they think about food while they're losing weight and how they're treating themselves while they're losing weight. And it's all because they're building the lifestyle underneath the weight loss plan. They have something solid to stand on when the diet ends. That's why the results last. Let me illustrate a picture to help you explain what I mean. Imagine you're running a relay race. The first runner is carrying your weight loss plan. The runner's job is to get you to your goal weight. But the race isn't over when that first runner finishes. The baton has to be passed to a second runner. The second runner is your lifestyle plan. And here's the important part. The second runner can't just be standing still. They have to already be in motion, running. That's how relay races work, right? So the second runner is already in motion, moving before the baton is passed, and there's never, ever a pause in momentum. That's exactly how lasting weight loss works too. Now think about that relay race for a second. Your weight loss plan sprints towards the finish line with the baton. It gets to the handoff point and nobody's there. Why? Because the lifestyle plan, you never built it. There's no second runner to take over, so the race just stops. That's what's exactly what happens for so many women. The diet ends, the calorie deficit ends, the structure ends. And without a lifestyle plan already in motion, you slowly drift back into the same way of living that you were before. Not because you failed, because there was nothing there to carry your results forward. That's why the lifestyle plan, it has to be running before the weight loss plan even starts, before the weight loss plan ends. The handoff has to be seamless. You don't fix the lifestyle after you lose weight, right? Now, here's where these two plans are very different. You can muscle your way through a calorie deficit for a while. You can follow rules. You can stick to a meal plan. You can white knuckle your way through a temporary diet. But you cannot white knuckle your way through the rest of your life. A lifestyle is not something you force for a few months. It's something you build. And for many women I coach, that means working through emotional eating, working through changing the way you respond to stress, working through building healthier habits and routines, working through your environment and the spouse that annoys you, working through developing a different relationship with food, working through your negative self-talk and treating yourself better. You got to work through that stuff. You can't avoid it, and you don't fix it after you lose weight. That's not how that works. So let me ask you a question. If I could snap my fingers right now and give you your dream body, but nothing else in your life changed, your thoughts stayed the same, your habits stayed the same, your routine stayed the same, your relationship with food stayed the same, how you treat yourself with your perfectionism and mean talk stayed the same, the way you handle stress stayed the same, how long do you actually think it would be before your weight started coming back? Before you'd regain all that weight, if I gave you your dream body, how long would it take before all of that weight came back? I've asked this question so many times of clients over the years. Almost everyone says, well, I hope it doesn't come back. That's always the thing. I just hope. Like, that's not a plan. Hoping is not a plan, right? Some people will be, honest and say it'll probably be a few months. But nobody ever says, I'd keep it off forever. Yeah, if you gave me my dream body to get tomorrow, I'd just keep it off. Nobody says that. So this is incredibly important, okay? Because it tells you something. The body you want isn't actually what you need. What you need is to become a woman who naturally maintains a healthy body composition, to build a life that's incompatible with weight gain, whose habits and routines support it, whose beliefs support it, whose relationship with food supports it, whose relationship with herself supports it, whose lifestyle makes maintaining that weight feel normal instead of like a constant battle. You don't become that person simply by eating fewer calories. A calorie deficit, yes, helps you lose weight. It's always required for weight loss, but it doesn't automatically change the way you're living and thinking. That's the work of the lifestyle plan. That's where you begin changing the underlying structure of how you're living your life. Your habits become your routines become your lifestyle. And underneath all of that are your beliefs, mindset, and the story you tell yourself about who you are. Those things are interconnected. If the version of those habits, routines, beliefs, and mindset produce your current weight, then simply losing weight isn't enough to keep it off. That's why the weight loss plan and the lifestyle plan, they run together. One changes your body, the other changes the person who will live in that body for years to come. So if your current habits, routines, beliefs, and mindset are what produce your current weight, then losing weight by itself is not enough to keep it off. A diet, yes, will change your weight. It doesn't automatically change your lifestyle. And that's why so many women find themselves stuck in the same cycle. They lose the weight, The weight loss plan ends, they drift back into old habits, the weight returns, and they start another diet. That's the yo-yo cycle. I think some women actually think that's like just normal. Like, I'm supposed to lose weight and regain it and then go back on a diet. That's not what people do. That's not how people manage their weight. I remember at one point in my when I was 215 pounds, I literally thought that that must be what women do, but that's not. And I do think there's a fair amount of women out there like me who probably think that it's just normal to like lose weight, gain it back, go on a diet. No, that's actually kind of unhealthy. Anyways, that's how I think nobody really thinks about it, right? I mean, I think if maintaining your weight depends entirely on staying on your weight loss plan for the rest of your life, whether that's tracking calories, following a strict diet, or some other weight loss intervention like a GLP-1, it's worth asking whether your lifestyle has changed enough to support your results once that intervention changes or ends. That's the purpose of the lifestyle plan. It's not about perfection. It's about building a life that supports the results you're working so hard to achieve. And you don't build that life all at once. You build it through awareness. You start noticing habits. You notice the routines you've been living on autopilot. You notice what triggers you to eat when you're not really hungry. You notice how stress affects your decisions around food and exercise and how you move your body. You notice your environment at work and at home. You notice the relationships that either support you or make all of your goals harder. You notice the beliefs you've carried for years about food and exercise, your body and yourself, because those beliefs have been quietly shaping your choices around food and exercise all along. You notice how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself. Awareness has to come first. Change comes second. I don't make the rules. This is just how change happens. But that change is usually slower than most women want it to be. I've had clients sometimes spend a year learning how to navigate like a relationship that was making healthy change incredibly difficult. I've worked with women who needed months to completely change the way they thought about food and their relationship with food. None of that was wasted time. That was the work they were avoiding. Because a lifestyle plan is not a 6-month project. It's an ongoing process of designing a different life that's not compatible with regaining weight. It's becoming a different version of yourself. Now, I know some people hear that and think, that sounds like a lot of work. It is. Meaningful change takes time. But if your goal is lasting weight loss, there really isn't a shortcut around becoming the person who can maintain it and building the life that can sustain it. That's why in my coaching, I often encourage women to begin building the lifestyle first. I'm not saying you have to wait years before you try to lose weight. I'm saying that when you start building a stronger foundation first, even if it's just a small one, you give yourself something to stand on while you're losing weight. Then your weight loss plan and your lifestyle plan can grow together. And what I've seen over and over and over again is that those women may lose weight a little more slowly, but they're building something that lasts and they are feeling more normal around food. They're navigating real life things without having to be so crazy about food. They're not just chasing a lower number on the scale and trying to be so rigid temporarily. They're literally becoming somebody who can keep that weight off without having the mentality of every year I have to start over and go on some other diet. I want to be really clear about something before we wrap up. I'm not saying you have to delay losing weight for years. What I am saying is from everything I've seen coaching women over the last 11 years, the women who create lasting change results don't just start a weight loss plan. They start building a lifestyle they can actually live. They run both plans together. They lose the weight while they're building the habits, routines, mindset, and beliefs that will allow them to keep it off. That way, when the weight loss plan ends, they have somewhere to go instead of slipping back into the life they were trying to leave behind. I've watched so many women treat losing weight like it's a finish line. It's not. It's a halfway point. The real goal isn't to lose weight. The real goal is to lose the weight and never feel like you have to lose weight ever again. To wake up one day and realize you're no longer fighting with food every day. You're no longer wondering, when is the weight coming back? You're simply living your life. That takes time. It's not built in 6 months or 8 months. So, if you've been listening today and you've realized you spent years trying to be perfect with your weight loss plan, maybe the missing piece isn't another diet. Maybe it's the second plan that you're missing, the lifestyle plan, because the life you're going to live after the calorie deficit ends is not going to build itself. You have to build it very intentionally. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to build it perfectly. You just have to start building it. If that's where you are right now, I can help. I'd love to help you. This is exactly what I do with my one-on-one coaching clients. We don't just focus on helping you lose weight. It's building the lifestyle that allows you to keep it off. Your habits, your routines, your relationship with food, your mindset, and the beliefs that shape your daily choices. Because my goal isn't to just help women lose weight. My goal is to help you become someone who doesn't have to keep losing the weight over and over and over again and battling food. If that sounds like the kind of support you're looking for, you can schedule a consultation with me using the link in the show notes. There's no pressure. We'll just talk about where you are, what's keeping you stuck, and whether working together is the right fit for you. And as you leave this episode today, I want to just remind you of one thing. You don't need one plan. You need two. One plan helps you lose the weight. The other helps you keep it off for the rest of your life. Ladies, thanks for tuning in today. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, you have to come check out my free weight loss class. It's the 5 steps to lasting weight loss, how hormones impact weight loss, and the truth about lasting weight loss without relying on willpower, workouts, or deprivation. Click the link in the show notes to watch that free class today. And if you are a woman over 35 with 20 to 50 or more pounds to lose, schedule a free weight loss breakthrough session with me after you watch that class. And let's talk about your 20 to 50 or more pound weight loss plan.
When we've reached our limits of adulting, it's easy to long for simpler times, like enjoying Saturday morning cartoons without a care in the world, or savoring every last drop of sugary milk at the bottom of your cereal bowl. Well, Kachava's new Cinnamon French Toast all-in-one nutrition shake gives you all the nostalgic feels and benefits. Made with real cinnamon bark for the richest, deepest, most authentic flavor. Just 2 scoops provide the complete nutrition your body craves with protein, fiber, greens, and more. It's an easy upgrade to your daily wellness ritual. No fillers, no nonsense. Just the highest quality ingredients that taste delicious. Adulting may not always be fun, but at least you can stock up on treats without asking your parents for permission. So whether you're kickstarting your morning or fueling your afternoon, treat yourself to a sip of nostalgia. Go to Kachava.com and use code FITNESS for 15% off your first order. That's Kachava, Kachava.com, code FITNESS.